Why do you play with dolls?
You speak English?
I got in trouble playing with dolls one time. They were Hopi Kachina dolls, and I made them kiss. Right, didn't it? What's your clan?
Salt?
Are you sure?
Yeah, salt.
Well, don't just say salt. Say salt. I am a salt clan. Say Ashihe. I am Ashihe.
Frybread face and me is just an absolute delight. It's profound, it's funny, it's sweet. I mean, you must be just overjoyed with the reaction that you've been getting. And I'm wondering if these are your experiences that Benny's having.
I'm so excited about the response it's been getting, not just from native audiences, but it's people who, are non-native, or there's a connection that I think that they feel with it. And that's been, an incredible the feedback that I'm getting has been really, really so good. And yeah, as much as I want to push away that it's not my story and, I was writing it and everything, and, there's not a lot of things that, happened that are happened in the film, but yeah, I mean, it's a story that I wanted to tell that, from my perspective, and yeah, just a tribute to my culture, my grandmother, and just having fun with it. I wanted to make a film that was had humor and
Yeah,
and joys of being native and indigenous. Um, yeah, it's an
that's
incredible.
great. Benny's experiences are just completely opposite of what he's used to. He's a city boy. He likes Fleetwood Mac for some reason. And I mean, they're great, but it's unusual. So he comes out here and his life is completely turned around. He didn't want to be there. And I think he had a great summer because of love from his grandmother and his aunt. And,
Mhm.
that's what made it all work so well. And fry bread face, in a way.
Yeah, I love Fleetwood Mac. I lived in San Diego. I had an annual pass to SeaWorld. Um, and my cousins, when I went to the reservation, they were so fascinated with that. They were so fascinated with this world that I lived in, but I was so fascinated with their world. Their language. They spoke fluently, and it was something that I loved understanding. And they're same thing. They were asking me about this and that, but yeah, it's I think people don't think like, oh, as a kid, you're into these, Fleetwood Mac. It's such a, I don't know, it's not a, a boy band. It's not, Britney Spears. And that's how it was for me. I had these albums that my parents had, the Eagles, Fleetwood Mac. Yeah,
Yeah.
music was a big part of my life growing
And
up.
especially when you hear it young, it stays with you so very vividly and deeply. The ageless traditions and existence of the indigenous people there. And I thought it was so powerful. It was almost like a character bringing us in.
That's the world that I look at. I go back even now, and it's just such a beautiful, beautiful world. And, natives were shipped off to the reservation, we were given from the government. We were given this land that was like, oh, trash to them, but now you look at
Yeah.
it, it's a beautiful world. But also we found this, and I'm glad you said Arizona, because that's where my grandmother lives. But during the pandemic, we were not allowed to film on the reservation, Arizona, because of the pandemic, and the Navajo Nation had a high rate of COVID there. So we found a spot in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and once I went, there was nothing. It was pretty, it was bare and desolate, and it's something about that area just felt right.
Yeah.
And our production team were Native and Navajo, so they built this world that felt so authentic. And the corral, the hogan, where the trailer was set, the outhouse, all of it was created by the team.
That's
And
incredible.
they knew that's the Navajos, my team knew. Um, so every time we went on set, it just felt like we were at our grandmother's. And it
My
really,
mind's blown. The set looks as though it's been there forever.
oh, yeah, yeah.
What a good
And it was
job.
sad. It was sad because the week after they tore everything down, and I was like, no, this isn't, it's just, but yeah, I'm so glad that you said that. But
Yeah, well, it worked. Every actor does so well, and I think most of them are not actors.
mhm.
Um, the children, grandmother, and I'm just wondering how you got that. You can't say be natural, be realistic. How did you shape the performances?
Well, it was tough early on because of COVID. A lot of our rehearsals were done on Zoom, and in Zoom, as an actor, it's all about eye contact and physical chemistry, and so that had been challenging. But once we got on set, we really kind of found out, the vibe, and we got our groove. But my background was in documentary and nonfiction,
Yeah,
and that came in so handy because that's the natural nuances of following somebody with a camera and making these actors feel at ease. And a documentary, that's what you do in with
right.
your subjects. You got
Yeah,
to get them to trust you. So especially when we filmed the grandmother, Sarah Natani, I wanted her to be immersed into her world. She's a weaver. Her knowledge about weaving is, and I just told my camera people, like, let's just follow her. I don't care if she hits her line, her mark. I just want to film it like a documentary. And the same thing with the kids, first time. Charlie was one of the first people we cast, Frybread face, because she was so good in her audition. And I said, she's going to be a star. This is her movie. And I liked how Keir, who plays Benny, the lead, how reserved he was, and I think their chemistry really hit on screen, and yeah, it all worked. It all worked.
well, congratulations, Billy. Wonderful film, and I really see how you put the documentary background into it. Thank you so much, and best of luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
Where are you from?
San Diego.
You live over there, Shamu?
Shamu's there. Yeah.
My dad's gonna take me to see Shamu. Have you met Shamu?
Many times. We have annual passes.
What's an annual pass?
You get to go to the park anytime you want.
You get to see Shamu whenever you want?
Yeah.
You're a liar. I got things to do.